So it is a nice morning. Be low 20s, pretty well ideal. Yeah, I can't complain about that. They were definitely busier in the morning. Ooh, even got a bit of water there, a bit of the sea on my toes. And it's pretty nice. Yeah, this beats walking up to the bus stop. Oh, they're actually cordoning off a larger area here. Well, there's people out and about working. Okay. Well, they're not working on the actual bridge, folks. They're probably just doing the pathway at this stage. So, yeah, nothing really extra happening here from what I can see. I checked more into travel insurance, and it's a bit of a minefield. So to actually work out what you're going to get covered for, that's the thing. And if you really do your due diligence, there's a lot of different factors involved, and it can take a while to actually figure it out. The company I used to go through, which is Fast Cover, they've tightened up their criteria, and I don't think they really want older travellers. I'm noticing that there's a cut-off at the age of 69 with certain policies, and other ones, I think they go through, some even go to the 80s, but it gets progressively more difficult the older you get, which, you know, makes sense obviously because you're a higher risk, but from an individual perspective just makes it a bit more difficult. It looks like I'm probably going to be up for either about mid 300s if I want to have cancellation insurance. So in other words, if something happens like happened to me the previous time with the back, just out of the blue, I'll be able to get my money back from accommodation and airfares and things like that, and that will yeah, I mean, that would have, I think it's up to about $2,000 normally, something like that cover, so it's more than enough for me. I mean, if you're flying something like business class or whatever, then you probably need a higher coverage. It all varies so much, and the annoying thing about currently looking at the Zoom one is I just can't increase the excess. It's a shame because, you know, I'd be happy with a $500 excess. It's $200. Seems awfully low to me. You know, what's $200 these days? And if you did have 500, I know that the actual premium would drop quite substantially if you increase the excess, and that's a more useful one for me. But anyway, it's yeah, like most things in life, what I prefer is if a company like an insurance company offers something like policies, I want them to give me options so I can vary things like that, so I can get the actual premium down to a reasonable level. And you think it'd be fairly easy to code it in, but oh well. I think actually having the coverage with Grab, that would be very important, because I know I'm going to use Grab a lot, and if the insurance company's got an out there, because I mean that's where an accident can occur, even if you're doing all the right things, you know, you're weaving in and out of the traffic in Saigon, which could be pretty damn heavy and chaotic at times. They don't drive fast, but there's just so many motorbike riders in Saigon. Traffic day, caught the bloody weather as well. I'm running late, and now we're getting another one of those frequent showers that we've been getting in Cairns. Virtually every day. It started off really well today, and now it's turned to crap. And that's just the way it's been. And it's really busy right now because I had a midday appointment which was delayed, and so I'm here after 4 o'clock, and it's a real rat race shopping at this hour. It's a lot better around midday, so I'll appreciate the morning appointments that I normally have. because this sucks. It's pretty bad. Yeah, that is horrible weather. And like I say, that's Cairns at the moment. Sunny 1 minute, drizzling, raining the next. Other weird thing is the bus that took me to Smithfield, we get in the bus at the Cairns hospital stop, and the bus moves about 10 metres and then just stops. And the guy stays there stationary for about 5 minutes, occasionally revving the motor. And it's not like he was actually ahead of schedule, I know that for a fact. So we ended up getting into Smithfield reasonably late. And I've still, I don't know what he was doing, but it just seemed ridiculous. I thought maybe he was having some sort of a turn or something, because it just didn't make any sense. And yeah, well, I got the bus back here. I ended up getting the 111 actually from Smithfield, because I didn't want to get stuck in the rain, although it's clear again now. It's very hard to pick this weather, very annoying. But it wasn't too busy. We didn't get too many school kids. I suppose that's a minor blessing. But it is a long bus ride when you've got to go through Trinity Park and Trinity Beach just to get here. It's a lot faster to go directly along the Palm Cove bus, the 110. But anyway, I still got back home. I got myself a meat pie too, a Outback brand. I've never tried those. They're on special for about $6 for two, which used to be the full price for 2 pies in the past. But now pies are bloody expensive. They're about, I think the normal price is about $8.50 just for a couple of pies in the supermarket. And I think that's one of the reasons that their sales have dropped off. So hopefully we'll see some relief from this inflation with food. It's been pretty savage. Anyway, it's good to get back home and relax. We won't have to go anywhere tomorrow. Well, I might walk up to the shops because I've got to get a prescription. But that's okay, I don't mind that. And I do need to do the walking every day. I was going to go and buy some Captain Morgan rum. I tried it last night and it's very nice. I thought it was quite a nice drop. I mix it with the ginger beer that I get from Woolworths. And that's all been cleared up. That was actually a block where Steve had to rescue a guy who got bogged in that particular spot, but they've obviously now totally covered it. Anyway, so I was going to buy it at Liquorland. It's $44, it's in a bad price, but then I discovered that there's a $10 off sale if you spend $100 or more. And I'm just not sure whether that's free delivery or not. That's the one thing I forgot to check, because I have had stuff delivered from Liquorland from Brisbane as well. But you may have to spend about $150 when I think about it. So that's getting up there a bit. So I'm not sure, but I'll double check that. But I'm walking up there today because I need more exercise for the back. I haven't taken the e-bike for ages, and this is the sort of day that I'd probably do it because I don't think it's going to rain. But I thought the Captain Morgan rum was very tasty, even better than the Sailor Jerry, which isn't bad. Even the Bundaberg Spice was okay, I thought. But if I can get that discount on it. Although, God, that weather looks like it's going to change again. Oh, this is so annoying, this weather, really. I might as well be back in Melbourne. I mean, at least, even, well, I've got to say warmer, but I looked up Melbourne's weather. It's about 17 today. It's not that much cooler. It's only low 20s here, so But this is just like Melbourne weather with rain coming in being hard to predict. Pharmacy just got out and then Steve rolls up. He's got a doctor's appointment which is next door to the pharmacy. And he offered me a lift. So I said, no, I've got to walk. But they're the ones who advised me I've got to do all this walking, and they're offering me all these lifts. So I guess I'm being tested. The weather's holding up, thank God. I thought I was going to get really caught. Looked pretty nasty, that bank of dark clouds. But I think I've missed most of it, thank God. Depends on the wind. Luckily it's blowing in a westerly direction, so it's cleared up again. Bad news is that the pathology, which is right next to the GPs in Kewarra Beach, has shut down, and it was that lady's worst fears that they're relocating to Smithfield. I don't know whether she's allowed to actually work at the Trinity Beach practice, because it's the same practice but just different physical location. Hopefully she's able to do that, because she didn't want to leave Kewarra Beach. So fingers crossed they're able to fit her in here, because she's fantastic. But oh well, you know, they were going to look at possibility of leasing another empty shop front in the Kewarra Beach shopping centre, but it didn't come off, unfortunately. So that might be the last time I see her, which is a bit of a shame. She's a real character. Very nice lady too. Infuriating weather. We've got Dale up on the roof at the moment trying to waterproof my sheltered area here, and you've got sunshine and you've got water coming down. It's raining constantly, just terrible weather. So he's using tape, but I don't envy him up there at the moment. Had to get up the step ladder, and hope he's okay. But see, it's just pissing down. Queensland, damp one day, pissing down the next. That's what we get at the moment. It has been incredibly wet and windy. The birds probably enjoy it, but I'm not such a big fan. But it's not going to deter me from having Friday afternoon drinks at the beach house. And it looks as though my neighbours agree. They haven't called me to bail out, so I presume it is still on. So I guess that's good. And the other thing that's going to happen is that we're going to the sports club tomorrow, the Trinity Sports Club, for the big car draw. There's someone's going to win a car that's been sitting there for quite some time, but you have to be there in person. And we were on standby to get a table, and we actually ended up getting one at the end. Just found out today. So I guess we've probably got, I don't know how many people they can seat there, but I imagine it wouldn't be more than 1,000. So let's say 1,000 is a round figure, and that may be being too generous. But so it looks as though you've got a 1 in 1,000 chance of winning a car. Now I reckon those odds are pretty damn good compared to say the lotto. So that's I reckon that's very, very good. So I think it's sensible to just turn up on the off chance that you might win it. Why not? It makes sense to me. The only thing I've got to be careful with, it's going to be about 3 hours, got to wait before the actual draw's been called, and got to make sure I don't drink too much. Got to really pace myself. That's my major concern tomorrow. It's not really anything to do with any aspect of it. The food there's good, and it's a nice place, but that can be deadly. Oh, they're keen. Steve and Yvonne are already out here waiting. So they're obviously very thirsty, and they've got the umbrellas. It's a first. So I was thinking about wearing a wind cheater today. It's pretty nippy. It's actually top temperature today of 22 degrees in Cairns and 26 degrees in Townsville. That's very unusual, and about 21 in Brisbane. 11:30 on a Saturday morning, and the big day of the draw for the car at the Trinity Sports Club. between 6 and 9. I think it'll be more likely 9 o'clock. They'll drag it out to the end, and I've been trying to get a clarification what the terms and conditions of this thing is, because in theory it could be an amazing opportunity for anybody there, because if there's only about, say, 400 people there and everybody there has an equal chance of getting the car, well, that'd be amazing. But it may not work that way. It may be that people who spent more money at the club on their cards, which they'd easily know because it's all electronic, they might get multiple entries in effect. So I'm not sure how they're going to do this, or whether it's all based on what you spend tonight. It's fairly ambiguous, and I've been trying to get the terms and conditions, but there's nothing printed on screen, and they said that you have to actually go to the premises, to the sports club, to see the terms and conditions, which is very strange, because I would have thought, now I'm no legal expert, but I would have thought maybe by law they'd have to print them out anyway, put them online, because they say there are terms and conditions online, but they don't. There's no access to them. That's very strange. I mean, it's not like I have to spend anything apart from buy a few drinks to be eligible. It says $20. Now, it doesn't say $20 per transaction, but that's the way Steve interpreted it. The point is, it's ambiguous. It could be a number of ways, and looking from a legal perspective, you have to be very specific about the terms. And that's why I'm just curious. It's certainly not going to change my life, and I've got bugger all chance of getting it, but I've got a lot more chance than if I don't turn up. So, and it won't be a problem spending $20 tonight, obviously. With inflation, that's becoming easier by the minute. The beach house have put up their prices because of the tax increases. So it just keeps going up and up. So, and I had a nasty surprise with insurance yesterday. I just wanted to check, because and see, how much would it cost to insure my place. And when you insure your place for, say, replacement house, it's got to include all the demolishment fees and everything. So there's a hell of a lot involved. And now, which company was it? I think it might have been QBE, were the first company that had a database with my address and knew pretty well where I was living and what the condition it was. Their estimation of how much my annual insurance costs would be for the place would be over $2,000. So it's like paying another lot of rates in effect, about $2,200, $2,400, something like that. And currently I'm paying about $1,600, I think, with Sure Insurance, which are known to be fairly cheap, although they bumped up their prices quite substantially. It was less than $100 a month, and now it's about $146 or something. I've also had to buy myself a new tablet because my Samsung, I think, is pretty well RIP. It's actually the cover of it. I mean, the face, I smashed the glass in it a while back. It's a bit shattered, but it kept working fine. Just a slight distortion, but apart from that, really all the functions were there. But yesterday, the actual screen lifted off from the interior of the unit, so I could see right into the guts of it. And there's not much to look at. It's amazing how little there really is. Everything's so compact. But yeah, it did work after I put it back together again, but the second time that happened, no, it's gone. It's pretty well cactus, although I can still access the files that are on the hard disk there, but I can't get the screen to work. So I could take it to Vietnam and see if I can get it repaired, I guess, but I don't know if it's worth it. So I actually bought a new one online, and it went through eBay, and it was substantially cheaper than what I'd pay at, say, Harvey Norman or Officeworks. they were over 300, mid 300s, around that figure, and I ended up paying $285 with eBay, and it should actually arrive pretty quickly. They've already dispatched it, and I'm expecting to maybe get it later next week, which will be very good. This morning's been quite nice, but now it's clouded over again, but it's not raining. Now, I've been told that progress has been made on the bike path, the bike trail. So apparently they have covered the track with something more permanent. So that's good, and then they just got to work on the actual bridge. I mean, they've been pretty unlucky with the weather. As you can see, there's a lot of moisture around here. So it hasn't been particularly benign construction conditions. But they're still making progress. When I return from my trip, it should all be completed. And we may even have a new supermarket with any luck, although I think that'll be closer to Christmas, I'd say. The path looked exactly the same as before, but then even though there's that bit down there, and most of the barriers down there, so they're allowing people to wander down here. Oh, look at that. So, oh, that's looking lovely. So there's the foundations for the path, and that's that looks like a permanent job there. That's great. So similar to what we got down the other side there. So this is going to be beautiful to ride on. Yeah, it looks great. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you think there's anything there of use to you, or entertainment or whatever. And either do that or give me a thumbs up, or if you're feeling really energetic, do both. That'd be great.